The name Supra is derived from the Latin prefix meaning to surpass or go beyond, and throughout its history, the Supra has done just that. From the first generation A40 to the current generation A90 and A91, this is a car that has a 40-year history behind it. The first generation Supra, the A40 and A50, was produced from 1979 through 1981. It was an upgraded version of the Toyota Celica and was given the name Celica Supra. Its engine was a single overhead cam 2.6-liter inline-six with electronic fuel injection that produced 110 horsepower. The transmission was an automatic 4-speed and four-wheel disc brakes were standard equipment. The 1981 Celica Supra offered leather seating, automatic climate control, a bigger 2.8-liter inline-six, a revised transmission, and a sport suspension package. The first generation Supra did 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. The Celica Supra sold well and was successful enough to justify a second generation. The second generation Supra, the A60, was produced from 1982 through 1985. It was still named the Celica Supra and was still based on the Toyota Celica, although its independent rear suspension was designed specifically for the Supra model. Its engine was a 2.8-liter dual overhead cam straight six that produced 145 horsepower, and later that number increased to 161 horsepower. The A60 had two packages, the L-Type and the Performance. The Performance had fender flares, bigger wheels and tires, and a sporty interior. The second generation Supra did 0 to 60 in 8.7 seconds. The third generation Supra, the A70, also known as the MK3, was produced from 1986 through 1992. No longer based on the Toyota Celica, the Supra became its own model with a turbo option finally being offered. The turbo option engine was a new 3-liter dual overhead cam straight six rated at 230 horsepower and 246 pound-feet of torque. The 1987 Supra was the first Toyota in the United States to have a turbo option and anti-lock brakes. The popular Targa style top was also an option starting in 1987. In the late 80s, Mustangs, Camaros, Corvettes, and Grand Nationals ruled the streets, but the third generation Supra soon became known as the V8 killer with a 0 to 60 time of 6.1 seconds. The fourth generation Supra, the A80, also known as the MK4, was produced from 1993 through 1998, although in Japan it was produced until 2002. The MK4 is the generation that vaulted the Supra into legendary status due to the 2JZ GTE engine. This engine was a 3-liter dual overhead cam inline six with sequential twin turbos rated at 320 horsepower and 315 pound-feet of torque. The engine was so well designed, tuners were quickly hitting the 1,000 horsepower mark. The MK4 came with a 6-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, anti-lock brakes, interior options like leather, and a big spoiler. The interior was driver-focused and resembled an airplane's cockpit. The Targa-style top was also carried over to the MK4. No longer just a V8 killer, the Supra was now a supercar killer, but due to its price tag, its sales were not very good. The base price for the turbo MK4 Supra in 1993 was $39,900, and in today's prices, that would be roughly $79,800. It was the working man's supercar, but at that price, it was still out of reach for most. The fourth generation Supra did 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. The fifth generation Supra, the A90, also known as the MK5, came out in 2020 and is currently still on sale. In 2020, the GR Supra was offered in three models: the base model, the premium, and the launch edition. Only 1,500 launch edition models were made. Each version came with the BMW B58 engine, which is a 3-liter, 24-valve, dual overhead cam, turbocharged inline-six, rated at 335 horsepower and 365 pound-feet of torque. It was paired to the BMW ZF 8-speed single-clutch transmission. The premium model came with extras like red Brembo brakes, a bigger nav display, a heads-up display, dynamic radar cruise control, an upgraded 12-speaker 500-watt JBL stereo system, 14-way power heated seats, parking sensors, blind spot monitoring, and cross-traffic alerts. The launch edition had everything the premium had, but added red side view mirrors, all black rims, red seats, and a GR Supra badge indicating the launch edition number 1 through 1500. In 2021, Toyota shocked Supra fans with a new 6-port manifold design, as opposed to the 2-port in the 2020 model. This new configuration netted 47 more horsepower. However, once tuned, the horsepower numbers on both the model years are nearly identical. In the interior, the 8.8-inch navigation screen that was in the premium models only was now added to all the Supra models. For the 2021 model year, Toyota also released a 4-cylinder model, which has a 2-liter engine that makes 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Other differences for the 4-cylinder are no power seats, a 4-speaker stereo system, no Brembo brakes option, it does not get the adaptive suspension, and it does not get the limited slip differential. Toyota also continued the limited editions for the 2021 model with the A91, which is the same as the A90 Premium, but also has a new spoiler, new graphic stripes, and all black rims. The A91 was limited to 1,000 cars. In 2022, nothing changed on the cars, but the limited edition for this model year, called the A91 CF, came with carbon fiber body trim, and it was limited to just 600 cars. The 5th generation Supra 6-cylinder model was 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds for the 2020 model, and 3.9 seconds for the 2021 and newer models. What's next for the Supra? A manual transmission edition for the 2023 model year, which will be limited to just 500 cars. One of the Supra's main goals is to be ever improving, and as we look back at the history of the Supra, we see that with each new model year, the Supra just keeps getting better, embracing the to surpass or to go beyond ideology. Thanks for watching.